Alrighty, and this is going to be the final recording of the night. This is going to be over balancing redox equations. I highly recommend this one. I know in my class particularly, we needed a little bit of work on this. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and play the pre-recorded video. This should be close to 10 minutes long, hopefully. Once again, I apologize for the choppiness. All right. Okay, now we're going to work on balancing these equations. So we're going to have NaBr, balancing seems to be what a lot of people struggled with from what I saw, plus Cl2 produces NaCl. Sorry, yields, I suppose, is the proper term, plus Br2. Okay, so right here, I noticed there weren't any charges, and kind of gathered for myself that basically there was going to be an error here because this is just normal balancing. This isn't redox. So, yeah, I will realize that, and we will get straight into the actual redox here in just a moment. All right, so here I have just realized the mistake that I made, and I went ahead and erased it, and we should be getting ready to start on the actual redox reaction. Now, sorry, I cut myself off before I finished. All right. Oopsies. So, there we go. This is better. Chromium hydroxide plus bromine yields, I believe this is chromate, maybe perchromate. Plus Br minus. Okay, so we're going to split this into two separate half equations. We're going to have CrOH3 yields CrO4 minus 2. We want to start with balancing the non-oxygen hydrogens. That is your first step. You have to remember that. Those are already balanced. Those are our chromiums right here. So now we want to balance our oxygens by adding H2O to a side. Here we have four oxygens. Here we have 3 oxygens. So I'm going to just add an H2O. Shove that in there, right over there. And let me just scooch this a bit this way. No, not preferable. Please stop. I did this. Okay. So we're going to throw our H2O right there. So now our oxygens are balanced, right? We have 1 oxygen, 3 oxygens, 4 oxygens. Good. Now we want our hydrogens. Well, you may notice we now have 5 hydrogens on this side, right? Why does that look like 514? That's not supposed to be 514. And no hydrogens on this side. So we're going to just add 5 hydrogens. That balances that out. Great. But now we need our charges balanced. This currently has a charge of 0, while our product side has a charge of positive 3. Now we need this to be equal, right? So how do we bring down a charge? Well, electrons have a negative charge, and we can add those. So we're just going to add 3e minus. And that's that. This is now down to 0. Our reactant side is now down to 0, and our product side is down to 0. So now we still need another half reaction. So I'm actually going to go ahead and erase this down here, this little bit right here. So now our other half reaction is going to be bromide yields Br minus. Now the good news here, we don't have any oxygens or hydrogens to balance. We do have to balance our bromide just like that. Now our product side has a charge of -2 while our reactant side has a charge of 0. So we're just going to add 2 electrons over here to make to our reactant side to make our charges equal. Now, typically, those of you who have already learned this, you know, okay, well, now I need to multiply one of these half equations here by the other, so that like by another number to make the electrons equal so that they cancel. Well, here you've got two numbers that are different. You can't just multiply it by one of the numbers. So what you have to do, like you can't just multiply one electron by 3, right? Because we don't have one electron. So you have to use algebra, and you basically want to swap-a-do-jabby these two numbers here. So we're going to multiply this equation by 3, multiply this equation by 2, and that's going to give us 6 electrons. I'm starting with the bottom equation, plus 3 bromide yields 6 bromide. And then over here, 2H2O plus 2 CrOH3 yields 2 CrO4 minus 2 plus 10H plus 6E minus. That's not a minus. E minus. So now our electrons are equal, right? We have 6 electrons, 6 electrons. So we're going to now combine our two halves and drop the electrons. Okay, so I'm going to start with our bottom equation again. So we have on our reactant side, we have 3 bromide, right? And that's all of our reactant side there, but don't do the yields yet. Now we want to move up to this equation here. So plus 2H2O. Once again, I apologize for my messy handwriting. Plus 2 CrOH3. Now that's our reactant side done. Now let's say we don't in this case, but let's say we have more water over here. Like let's say we have 1 H2O over on our product side. Well, then that 2H2O, we'll subtract that 1 H2O from the 2 H2O, and we'll just have 1 H2O right here. Same with our hydrogen ions here. If we had more hydrogen ions on this side, actually it would be on the other equation. But then we would end up just subtracting them to get a base amount. You don't want water on both sides of the equation. You don't want hydrogen ions on both sides of the equation. So now we're going to move on to yields, and we're going to start with the bottom again. So 6 bromide plus, now we're moving on to the top, 2 CrO4 minus 2 plus 10H plus. Now I want to check our work. We're going to make sure our bromides are balanced. 3 times 2, that's 6. 6, good. Hydrogens, 2 times 2, that's 4, plus 3 times 2, that's going to be 10. We have 10 on our on our product side. Oxygens, we have 2 plus 2 times 3, which is 6. So that is going to give us 8. We have 8 on our product side. Chromium, we have 2 on our reactant side, 2 on our product side. But now we need to make sure the charges are balanced. Over here on the left side, we can easily see we have a charge of 0. On the right side, we have a -6, -4, so that's a -10, and then we have +10 with our hydrogen. So this is good. That's a marker, not a highlighter. This is our answer right here. And I don't know why it's changing the color, folks. I don't like it, but that's the answer. So that was one of the ones that I wanted to show you guys because you need to know that you just do this swap-a-do jabby right here. You need to know that you can just do this and multiply. Take this 3 right here and move it down here, and take this 2 and move it right up here. And you have to make sure you multiply the whole equation. That's the only one